Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video on Advanced Warfare yet again. Now last week I did a video on all the best variants of the gun, what I thought were the best, and trust me, I'm right because I do my research on these things and explaining why. And I'm also going to be showing you guys what I think is the worst variant of each gun in Advanced Warfare, so the total opposite of the video I did last week, my last video. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Now there's only 4 variants of this pistol, which I have all 4, and the one I chose for the worst is the single stack. Not that it's a bad variant or anything, the only good thing about it really is that you get more reserve ammo, which can actually be helpful, but it's a secondary weapon, so it's like stat changes on secondary weapons are very significant because you only pull it out unless you want to use it like as a primary in a match to get like challenges done. Then yeah, you could definitely do that, but I chose this as the worst because it does have more recoil, view kick, which you probably won't notice, but it is there. I actually did notice it a little bit, and it fires slower, and that's why I choose it as the worst, because it does have 10% tighter hip fire spread, but on a semi-auto pistol that's not really that big of a deal. And yeah, so I choose the single stack as the worst just because it fires slower. Now the worst AE4 variant, I'm going with the AE4 Shocker. Now the AE4 Vortex is kind of bad, but what's strange is that it has -1 range, which actually doesn't affect the weapon because the medium range damage is the same as long range damage. But this one's pretty bad because you only get a faster radius time for less 3-shot range, really bad. And this one's not that great either because the AE4 is already accurate. This one sucks too because you get -1 damage all for tighter hip fire. That's pretty bad. And but I'm choosing the Shocker. Now the Vaporizer is statistically identical, but it's better just because it doesn't have -2 damage like the Shocker. But the Shocker has a slower overheat time than the Vaporizer. But the Vaporizer is better because it's still 4 shots to kill at medium range, whereas this one changes it to 5 shots to kill at medium range. So it skips 4 shots to kill, and it's 5 shots to kill even at medium range and long range, which is very frustrating on a gun that shoots very slow at 500 RPM. Now, yeah, the overheat time may make up for it since you need to fire more shots to get the 5 shots kill, but it doesn't make up for a slow firing gun having 5 shots to kill. And it does have 10% more recoil, kind of frustrating, but it's not that bad. I do notice it, but it's overall really not that bad because it's kind of accurate to begin with. And another thing I don't like about this weapon is the iron sights. I like the little foresight for acquiring the targets because they're like the ASM1 iron sights, which are great. But what I hate about them is the fact that the oval tunnel thing shaped around it just kind of blocks a lot of stuff. But I do like the design of it. I do like that there's a heart right there. Overall, really not really good at performance. Now, you put a heat sink on this, you could like get like insane like amount of shots before it overheats. But overall, it's not really worth it since it's a slow firing gun that takes 5 shots to kill. You don't want that. Now, this is going to surprise you, but best AK-47 variant, worst is the Slayer. Now, you're probably thinking why? It has +1 damage. Now, here's what if I were designing this, here's what I'd make the +1 damage do now, which it doesn't actually do on this variant. It has, so it's 3 shots to kill up close, right? And then it's 4 shots to kill medium range, 4 shots at long range. And and I'd make it so that it's 3 shots even at medium range, but it's not. What this damage decrease actually does is increase the damage from 25 to 27, which isn't significant at all because it's not even close to any headshot multipliers, which is 1.1x, so headshots don't matter. And 27, 25, it's still 4 shots to kill, so that doesn't matter at all. So you're just stuck with the AK-47 that's fire slower, and that's it. And the slower rate of fire doesn't make up for the fact that the recoil is high, because it's still high despite it firing slower, and the AK-47 is already a slow firing gun to begin with, so not good for the AK-47. Don't use this one if you get it. If you see it has +1 damage, don't get excited because it's not what you think. Same goes for the M16 Sweet 16 as well. It also changes the long range damage from 27 to 25, but it only has 10% wider hip fire spread, which there's a worser variant than this. So on to the AK-12. The worst I picked was actually the finger trap, and here's why. So So look at the hip fire spread for this, right? 30% tighter hip fire spread. It's good, right? Except no, you can't put any attachments on the finger trap. So having having 30% tighter hip fire spread, all for no attachments, is just not really worth it in my opinion. And the AK-12 record looks bad because it has -2 accuracy, but the AK-12 is already, you know, an accurate gun to begin with, and it has 20% tighter hipfire spread, which is not a good gun to hipfire with anyway, since 4 shots to kill up close. But if you do want to hipfire, you can put a laser sight on this, and it's even a little bit tighter than the finger trap. So this is the hipfire variant you want to go for the AK-12, whereas with the finger trap, you can't even make that tighter because no attachments. The royalty is the same, but it's slightly better because you do get an extra magazine in reserve. But the finger trap, can't put any attachments. It basically acts the same as a special weapon like the launchers, which don't allow attachments, and yeah, that's pretty bad. Now, the wood grain texture is pretty cool. Now, it doesn't make the gun unusable. It's an AK-12, which is a very easy gun to use, and it does have the good AK-12 iron sights, not the weird circular ones. So it doesn't make the gun unusable. It still performs okay, but it's just the worst of the worst, you know? So, yeah. Now, the worst Ameli variant I chose to be the Crafty, because it does have -1 damage, which doesn't make sense because it's but the whale horn is -2 damage, making it 35. The normal damage is 35, 35, 33, and the whale horn makes it 35, 33, 25. So that's still 3 to 4 shots to kill, and I was expecting this one to be 25 at 35, 35, 25, just like the Pytaek LR and Methodic do. But no, that's not the case. For some reason, it doesn't even make it 5 shots to kill at long range. It's a 6-shot kill at long range for an LMG. You don't want that. That's like SMG power. Like, what the hell? It does have a free foregrip, but the Ameli's recoil is not even hard to control. Yeah, it does wobble, kick here and there, but it's easy to control. And because it does have good iron sights, it has really good iron sights, among the best in the game. But and you get 10% tighter hipfire spread, which you're not going to notice unless you're using the whale horn, because nobody hipfires with LMGs. So you're just stuck with -1 damage, making it 6 shots to kill long range, which makes no sense. Now the red shirt does have the same damage decrease, but it makes up for it with awesome rate of fire increase. So yeah. Now worst AMR9, I'm sorry if I say best, you guys know what I mean. But worst AMR9 is the Dynamo. It's elite, but it's very bad. Now look at the hip shot. Now the hip shot is +1 fire rate, but look at the burst delay for the hip shot. Pretty good, right? Now look at the burst delay for the Dynamo. And you notice it's slower. The burst delay is slower, which makes no sense. It has +2 fire rate. It has +2 fire rate, but statistically speaking, on my rate of fire video, I kind of messed up. But like statistically speaking, it fires at the same speed as the hip shot, the burst. But it has a slower burst delay, which makes no sense. It has +2 fire rate, yet it's overall making the fire rate slower. So the hip shot and shorty are the best rate of fire variants. So that's not good, and you have more recoil on top of on a burst weapon on top of already high rate of fire. Not good at all. It has less damage at long range, making it 7 shots to kill like the old AMR9, and it has less 5-shot kill range as well, which is really bad because that's the 1 burst kill. I doubt you're even gonna hit that anyway, since it's a hard gun to control and get all 5 shots on an enemy. But yeah, it's really not, and you get 10% faster ADS time, which you're really not gonna notice. And yeah, so damage, accuracy, and range. So yeah, this is the worst AMR9, since overall it shoots slower than the shorty and hip shot. Now the worst ARX-160 variant. Where is it? Where's the? Okay, there it is. I was like, I couldn't even find the ARX. So the worst variant is the Damnation, and this variant disappoints me. It looks kind of cool, but look like you reload, you see like the long barrel thing, because it does have +1 range, which I'm going to explain why that doesn't matter. But the Steel Bite, both elite variants have -1 fire rate. Which why do you make both elite variants have the same stat decrease? At least don't touch the fire rate on this and ruin something else, or at least make this one fire faster. It does have a damage decrease at long range, making it 6 shots to kill, but the range is so far away that you're never going to be there anyway, since it's 51 meters, and this one increases the 4-shot kill range even more. But that doesn't matter, because 4 shots to kill. We don't want that. We want like 3 shots to kill. And it does have +2 accuracy, but the ARX is already an accurate gun to begin with, so that doesn't matter. And it has 10% wider hipfire, and that doesn't matter either. And the range doesn't matter, and the damage doesn't matter, and all you're stuck with is a slower firing ARX. And it just doesn't improve much at all. Now the Spoliator is quite better because although it does have -1 damage, you're never going to get to that range. It actually has less recoil and faster ADS, despite what the charge says. It actually has faster aim down sights, about time by 10%, and fires faster. So Damnation really not good at all. Now the best ASM1 variant. This is hard because all ASM1 variants are great, and I'm gonna go all over them right now. Great range increase, has less recoil for less 5-shot range, but it's okay. Sweeper, I'm actually gonna come back to that one. Tighter hipfire, more damage, very good. Fires fast, most accurate ASM1, the God gun, Tommy gun, and more damage and range. And the reliable, oh no, not the reliable, the extended has -1 damage, who cares, but it has more 5-shot range, which is cool. Now the Scout is the worst. Now the Scout and the Sweeper, they both have -1 fire rate, but the Sweeper makes up for that with damage increase at long range, but the Scout just fires slow with a faster aim down sights time. Not really much for benefits. It's just a penalty which nobody wants, which with nothing really to offer for a benefit. So this is the worst ASM1 variant. It doesn't make it unusable because ASM1 is still a great gun, but like it's not even like a good variant. So yeah, now this was a hard one since not all variants of the Atlas 20mm are particularly good, but they're not bad either. But I chose this one as the worst because it does have more idle sway, which you actually do notice, and it has a slower fire rate as well, which even though this is not a spam heavy sniper, you are going to notice it, and the only thing you get is a faster runner speed, which hey, this is a slow sniper, so, and a faster sprint out time. It's a slow sniper, so I guess it's good. That's why it's called talent, because you run faster, and it's a talent to have, you know, better sprint out time. But overall, I really don't think that this is a good variant, so I'm choosing the marksman variant, the talent, as the worst Atlas in the game. Atlas sniper. Atlas 45 pistol, however, yeah, it has to be the Huckleberry, because all variants are obsessed with tightening the hipfire. This has the tightest hipfire, but who cares? Like, honestly, like, who cares? It has -1 damage, and since it's a pistol, you can get to the long range really fast. And just like the Ameli, it's kind of confusing since it's like so it's 2 shots up close, 3, and then 4 at long range. And this one makes it not 5 shots, but 6. Why 6? And it does have 20% more view kick. This is the harshest view kick penalty that you actually do notice. It's not that bad. You aren't maybe not notice it, but it is there. But the Huckleberry is overall the worst, I feel like. Now, worst BAL variant. Now you guys already know the BAL is a very great gun, one of the best guns in the game, but here with the BAL 223, the marksman variant, makes the BAL very, very underpowered. And the fact that it has +1 fire rate, it doesn't even, this variant's even worse now because it fires at the same speed that the old BAL used to fire at. So that makes it even worse, and it has a range increase, basically increasing the 5-shot kill range. But no, you don't want that because it increases the 5-shot kill range, which is a damage decreased range thanks to the fucking -2 damage. And the -2 damage doesn't work like it's supposed to, because look at the BAL 27 Virtue, which has -1 damage. It's still 3 shots up close, 4 shots at medium range, 6 shots to kill long range. Okay, fair. But this turns it into a submachine gun, where it's even at point blank range, the 5 meters, it's 4 shots to kill, and then 5 shots at medium range, and then 6 at long range. And so that's basically -3 damage, since 3 damage zones are being changed. The -1 damage on the Virtue actually works like it's supposed to, but not with this variant. So this makes the BAL very underpowered, and the fire rate doesn't make up for this because you're gonna get lots and lots and lots of hit markers. And I'm even gonna prove that it's 6 shots to kill at long range. I can't really test in the firing range, but okay, maybe that's 5 shots, but this is probably. Okay, I can't get to 30 meters in here, but you guys know what I mean. The very underpowered BAL. Now, worst Blunderbuss, I was going to go with the Thunder Pipes. It says -1 damage, which means 2 less pellets. But then I thought about it, and I was like, okay, the Blunderbuss has the same damage as the Tac-19. So that's very powerful. It's basically kind of like increasing Tac-19's one-shot kill potential by... But I'm choosing the Scallywag as the worst because I feel like the range on this is worse to decrease than the damage, because like 16 pellets on the Thunder Pipe is still a lot of pellets, okay? But with the Scallywag, it seems like the range on this is not really good on any Blunderbuss, because it seems to have like a range problem, because like even when I'm point blank and like I hit it doesn't seem to have good range, this shotgun, because like even when you're at a decent range to get a one-shot kill, it might not do, and that's kind of thanks to the wider hipfire, the extremely abysmal wide hipfire it has, basically being like a sniper rifle. But in this one, he has even less range, all for a faster run speed, which isn't worth it. So this is the overall worst one, and you already want a max mobility with shotguns anyway, so it doesn't matter. Now the Bulldog, I was going to choose the Carnage because it has 1 less pellet along with a slower fire rate. Pretty bad, but the Carnage at least does have 20% tighter hipfire spread. I went with this one because, look at that, -2 damage, oh my lord. And it has 1, 2, 3, 4, it has 6 pellets, and the Bulldog is not really like a high damage shotgun anyway, since it's 30, 18, and then 6, that's the pellet damage, and it has -2. So you're like never gonna get like almost never one-shot kills with this thing, and it does have a 20% faster sprint out time, but it doesn't make up for losing 2 pellets. This is like the harshest damage penalty on the normal shotguns anyway, except the Blunderbuss. So yeah, less 2 pellets, you don't want that at all. Now the worst cell variant, I don't mean this as to say that this is the worst cell variant, because there's only 2 variants of it. So what choice do I have really? I chose the CEL-3 Phantom as the best because it has a nice bonus with no other noticeable drawback, but this one has a nice bonus as well. It has +2 range. That's awesome for shotguns, but it does have 1 less pellet. It does have -1 mobility as well, which doesn't really matter, but it has 1 less pellet, and and since I considered the Phantom to be better than this one, I chose this as the quote worst variant. And I'm not saying that this is the worst variant at all, a bad variant at all. It's a great, excellent variant. I'm just saying that this is the lesser of the 2 variants that exist in the game. So yeah, and I'm gonna skip the special weapons because there's no really worst variant of them. I'm gonna say all the other ones are the worst, since it's not the royalty, and all the royalty specials reload faster. But they all perform the same, except for the royalty. So I'm not really gonna choose. I'm gonna skip the special weapons. So the Moz, Mayhem, MDL, and Stinger are not gonna be in this episode. So moving on. Worst EM1 variant, I'm choosing the copy and paste of the BAL 223 Marksman, which is the EM1 Vera, and this has -2 damage. Now, you're probably not going to notice it since it fires very fast, too, but you're definitely going to notice that it takes longer to kill with this one than the other ones, and it does have increased range, but that doesn't matter since it's a decreased damage range that's being decreased, and it does have a slower overheat time, which is nice, but you're gonna get way more hit markers with this one, so really don't recommend this one. Now the worst EPM3 variant, oh boy, you knew I couldn't wait for this one because there's many bad variants of this one, but I'm going with this one because although it does have a bonus, unlike the Exterminator and the Parsec, which have no bonuses at all, I'm going with this one because it has fucking -2 damage. A Marksman rifle that's 4 shots even at medium, this turns it into a Mark 14. MK14, so it has -2 damage, making it 4 shots to kill at medium and long range. Pretty bad. And on top of that, you also get a faster overheat time, which that makes no sense. Why would you get a faster overheat time? See, it's 4 shots even at medium range. Why would you get a faster overheat time on a gun with less damage? Like, it makes it unusable. And it does have +3 accuracy, which was worth something before since it had high recoil, but now, since the base EPM3 is very accurate anyway, this buff really does nothing for it, so... yeah, this is the worst of the worst. Now, the worst HBR variant, I almost chose as the lead launcher because it has the slowest rate of fires of all the HBRs, and it doesn't really fire fast, the base version anyway. But it does have, but it's very accurate. It has +1 accuracy, and I do have a hard time with the recoil on the HBRa3 anyway. So I'm choosing the Superlite because it does fire faster than the lead launcher, but I'm choosing the Superlite because it still fires slower than the normal HBRa3, which doesn't fire fast to begin with, and it has a faster ADS time, which is kind of nice since it. But if you want a faster ADS, use the Raider. So this one's not worth it because it's a slow rate of fire for no real benefit. Like ADS doesn't really like help the gun performance that well anyway. So it like fires really slow. So that's the worst HBR variant. Now the worst IMR variant has to be the Pillager, which I don't have the Pillager, so I'm going to use the feedback as a substitute. This is the second worst variant, so don't be fooled. The Pillager has -1 range, but like I said, it suffers from the crippling glitch where they meant to make it 870 units, but instead it's 87 units, making it always 5 shots to kill for a 4-round burst, which is not good at all. It does have more recoil. I mean, no. The Pillager, all it has is -1 range, making it 5 shots to kill, and just a free laser sight, and nobody wants to burst fire or hip fire with a burst fire weapon anyway. So the feedback isn't the worst because it does have a nice rate of fire increase, and obviously I'm choosing the Pillager because it has no real bonuses, all for a crippling glitch that makes the IMR so bad. So the worst KF5, I was gonna choose the Spanner because it fires extremely slow. I don't have the Spanner, I just have the royalty version of the Spanner. But I was gonna choose the Spanner, but because it fires very slow, but it does have a nice niche to fill with such a nice range. But I'm choosing the Locomotive since it's still not as bad as the Spanner, but it's still a slower firing KF5, and it has less reserve ammo as well, which, okay, maybe not the biggest of deals since the KF5 has a big magazine for an SMG, so it's really not going to be that bad, but it's less reserve ammo, which you never want on SMGs, or any gun for that matter, and all you get is a 20% faster ADS time, which, hey, you do notice it. It's like a free quick draw, but not all the way, but that's all you get for less reserve ammo and slower fire rate. Not really worth it. So, yeah, the Scout is just as bad, but I'm choosing this as the Locomotive is badder because it's worse because it has less reserve ammo. Now, worst lever action variant, it's kind of sad, but I do have to pick the royalty because one of the main problems with the lever action is the fact that it has the highest recoil of the semi-automatic rifles in the game. And this one just makes it even worse. Like, look at that. Look at the center speed. Look at that center speed. Oh my god. And now the recoil is random, but and it does have a faster rate of fire, which is not really good. It does have a faster ADS time. Okay, that's all right, but it has faster fire rate, so you spam it hard and the recoil comes unbearable. So yeah, so the royalty, I mean, there's only 4 variants. If you use the royalty, that's okay, but since it looks cool, and we all love royalty camo, really not great performance though. What did I choose? Hold on, I forgot what I chose for the worst Lynx variant. Oh yeah, that's right. Now there are bad variants. Now of the Lynx, the one I Snake Oil is pretty bad because fire slower. The Slung is also bad since it has a rate of fire for decrease for more mobility, but it's not worth it. But and the variable is frustrating to use as well because I don't like the variable zoom scope and it has more idle sway. Are you kidding me? This is an unusable variant, but that's just personal opinion for me. I think we can all agree that the Lynx Kingpin, however, is the worst because it has no bonus stats for an elite variant. Seriously, it has no bonus stats for an elite variant, and all you get is more idle sway, which we never want, even though it's not really noticeable. It is there, and you get less wall penetration, which, okay, that doesn't really matter, but why would they make this elite? Like, the way it looks, but, like, make it perform better, make it fire faster, or something like that. Like, it has all it gets is a free parabolic mic, which it's a great attachment, but for a sniper rifle where you need to put many more attachments on it, it's not worth it. Like, Lynx Kingpin, really, though, it's really the worst Lynx in the game. So, yeah. Now, the worst M1 Garand or Grand, M1 Grand, I really don't know how you say it anymore, but I'm choosing this one because it has a slower aim down sights time, which we never want on assault rifles, and it fires slower as well. I try to spam it at my maximum, and I can't. That was at 400. See, it oversamples, and you get less recoil, you get less recoil, which doesn't matter since it's a marksman rifle. It's very accurate anyway, and you get tighter hipfire spread. But it's a marksman rifle. Who's gonna fucking hipfire with it, especially with only 8 rounds? So the M1 Garand royalty has to be the worst in my opinion. Now the worst M1 irons. I think this was a hard one. I was gonna go with the Desert Wanderer, but it does have more reserve ammo, which is kind of nice when you're going on long kill streaks and you don't want to use scavenger. But use the royalty for that if you have it, since it kind of has that's the same stats as the Desert Wanderer with more things. I'm choosing the Shootout because, first of all, the iron sights on the M1 irons are pretty good to begin with, so you want more attachments on the M1 irons. Why the hell would you want a red dot anyway? And it has less recoil view kick, but on that base M1 irons you don't even notice that anyway, and all you're stuck with is a rate of fire decrease from 600 RPM to 500, and you do notice it, and that's not good. So you don't want that on the M1 irons if slower fire rate or a red dot sight. So yeah, this is the worst variant, the Shootout, because like it has a pretty harsh penalty, the buff doesn't matter, and you just stuck with a red dot and fires very slow. So yeah, not the best variant. M16 worst has to be the Sandman because all it has is 10% faster ADS time, which, hey, that's cool because the base M16 aim down sights slower than average assault rifles, and it does have 10% tighter hipfire spread. Doesn't matter since it's a burst fire, and all you're stuck with is super slow rate of fire and a longer burst delay, I think. And yeah, just not good for the M16. It's like the pre-buffed M16, which fired very slow, and it has -2 in fire rate. So you guys are going to notice that this one fires really much slower, which you never want. This is the slowest firing burst weapon in the game anyway. So that's bad. That's really bad. Alright, now the worst MK14 variant. Now it's kind of hard because all of them are good, except they don't help the base variant really in any way. The Obituary, the -1 range actually doesn't matter because the medium and long range damages are 33. Worst variant, I'm going with this one, the Ultralite, the professional Ultralite, since it has less 3-shot kill range, which is really bad. You don't never want that, since the 3-shot kill is kind of the saving grace of this weapon. Not really, because you don't even want 3 shots on a semi-auto rifle. And all you get is 20% tighter hipfire spread, which who the hell is gonna hipfire with a semi-automatic rifle, okay? Who? Like... Sorry guys, I cut the video because I was scared that when I looked down on my phone to see what I chose for the worst Lynx variant, I was scared that the clip stopped without me noticing. But no, it didn't stop. But it was time for me to stop anyway. It was at 13 minutes of the second clip. But the worst MP11 variant that I'm going with, you might think is the Devourer, which yes, this one kind of sucks compared to the base because it fires way slower, but it does have a nice niche to fill. It does have increased 5 and 4 shot kill range, so that's okay. But the worst, I'm choosing not the Scout. The Scout fires even faster than it, and the Scout's not really a good variant because you just get faster ADS for a slow rate of fire. I'm choosing the Plunderer because all you get is a faster aim down sights time, which it's noticeable, but you shouldn't really care. And the MP11's recoil, due to the very high rate of fire, is high anyway, since yeah, the MP11's recoil is high, and this one has plus 20% more recoil, which makes it like an unusable SMG. Like, oh my god, I can't control anything. And now the Squeaker has the same recoil nerf, but it does have awesome rate of fire increase. But the Plunderer, it just has more recoil, which is the recoil in the MP11's already very bad. All for a faster aim down sights time, which it doesn't really help you in the long run. Now, the worst MP40 variant, it has to be this one. I mean, how could it not be? Like, it has more recoil which you are actually going to notice. It does wobble so high. It has more recoil. It's an accurate SMG, but one touch the accuracy and it's very inaccurate. I don't know. It's kind of a weird SMG like that because I considered it to be very accurate, but it actually has high recoil when the accuracy is touched. What? Shut the fuck up! Can you get out of my house? You're making my dog bark. There's people outside my house walking their dogs. Like, stop! You're making my fucking dog bark. Anyway, but it has slower rate of fire. It has shut up, Ruby. It has a slower rate of fire than the normal MP40, and you do get more range, but that doesn't matter since the medium range is 33. It does increase the headshot range, but the long range is 25, which is still 4 shots. And you get more reserve ammo. That's okay. Stop it. But yeah. The lower rate of fire does not help the recoil, trust me. And it shoots at the same speed as the KF5 Spanner. That's the worst variant. So yeah, how can it not be? Worst Grok variant, you probably know what it is. I'm going with the feeling. The feeling lucky, thank you. It does have a nice range increase. It actually does increase its 2-shot kill range, but it has -1 damage, making it 6 shots at long range. But that's not the most significant nerf. It has 10% wider hip fire, also not very significant, and all that you're stuck with is a freaking ACOG scope on a pistol. Like, ACOG scope is not really a good attachment, and having this on a Grok with like kind of high recoil, and you don't want an ACOG scope on a pistol as well as it already has decrease in damage, and nobody wants that. And because of having an ACOG scope on it, it's going to be very frustrating to use. So, not a good Grok variant at all. Worst NA45 is definitely the Rover, definitely, because all you get is less explosive damage and range, and all you trade in for that is faster movement speed. That doesn't help at all. Let me go to the royalty and make a good comparison here. Now let me go to the Rover, do the same exact thing I did. Yeah, see? Didn't even... Let me fire it very closely here. It doesn't even, like, look at that. Like, you have to be so close to the person in order to get a 1 explosive kill. It's so bad, all for a faster run speed. Like, trust me when I say you're like almost never gonna get any 1 explosion kills with this. Like, it's so bad. Do never use this variant if you have it. Never, ever, ever. What did I say what the worst Ohm variant was? I forget. I forget what I... Hold on, guys. Let me look at my phone to see what I chose for the worst Ohm variant, because I actually forgot. Oh shit! I forgot the Moors. I forgot the Moor sniper. I'm sorry, guys. Now I don't have it, but the worst Moors variant is gonna be the Moors Slung, because I don't have it, but the Moors Slung, all it has is slower rate of fire for faster movement speed, and all the Moors variants are good. Maybe the Lullaby is a close second for the worst, because it still has more idle sway despite it having a ballistic CPU. But yeah, the Slung is not good because it's a simple rate of fire decrease and more mobility, and that's it. So it's not really worth it at all. Yeah, I looked at my phone, I saw the Moors there. I was like, wait a minute, I never did the Moors. Oh yeah, I remember the worst Ohm variant now. Which I'm gonna make that the Revamp, and here's why. I'm not choosing the Lycanthrope. The Lycanthrope's just as bad since you're never gonna be far enough away to like even get in its decreased damage zone, but the Revamp is worse, and here's why. Yes, the fire rate decrease on the Lycanthrope is very frustrating, but the thing about this is that it has a 30 round magazine, same as the Restless, but this one I feel like is more because the Restless at least has way less recoil. This one you just get +2 range, which doesn't matter since the close and medium range damages are the same, and the and the medium range is so far away that you're never even going to be that far enough away to even guarantee the range increase, and you're just stuck with 30 rounds in the Ohm, so it has nothing to offer at all. You just get 30 rounds for an LMG and that's it. And I know this LMG reload is the fastest reloading of all the LMGs, but like still, it offers nothing as benefits, so yeah. Now, the worst PDW variant was actually kind of hard. I was almost choosing the Chucker since it's very inaccurate. It has less 4-shot kill range, and it has a 6-shot kill range, making you get close to your 6-shot kill range along with more recoil. Look at that! I just showed you guys that the recoil actually gets lower, which kind of is frustrating. But it fires very fast, so it's a beast up close, I guess. But I'm going with the Rage, same reason for the Grok, because you don't want an ACOG sight on a pistol, especially this one, which kind of has high recoil. And it does have a rate of fire increase, that's nice, but all you're stuck with is less 4-shot kill range. And for the ACOG sight, it zooms in, so you like see the recoil more. So like, I was going to choose the Chop since it has -2 damage, but it doesn't decrease the medium range damage. It's just -2 damage variants of the PDW, the Crusher, and the Chop. They're not as bad as you think since it makes the long range damage 7-shot kill, which is, you're never really going to get to that range due to its low auto aim and center speed and recoil and all that. So I'm choosing the Rage as the worst since, yeah. Alright, I couldn't wait to get to this one. Now, okay, I finally got the Adept in a supply drop. So this one has -1 fire rate, correct? Now, 600 RPM. Okay, let me choose the Pytaek Expanse which has -2 fire rate. Okay, so this is gonna make it have +1 fire rate, right? No, still notice that it shoots slower than the Exploit and the Adept. What the hell? So this is like 500 something RPM. I believe. Take the rapid fire off. Oh my lord. How are you supposed to use a full auto gun that shoots this slow, dude? It makes it slower to get to your no recoil, which doesn't really matter since you're shooting less often because of the low rate of fire, but it changes it from 631 RPM to 400, the same speed as the semi-automatic Lynx sniper rifle. Oh my lord. It does have extended 3-shot kill range, and it also extends the close range as well, but it doesn't matter since the close and medium range are the same. But oh my lord, you can't use, it's painful to use this Pytaek, seriously. Like, even with rapid fire, it still shoots slower than the Exploit and Adept, which makes no sense at all. Like, why do they make it fire this slow? Like, oh my lord, it's so unusable. Worst repulsor variant, you guys know what it is, I think, if many of you that still play the game as a veteran like I do. It's the Deadstrike because it has less rounds in the magazine, which I never like, and it has a slow rate of fire as well, which I also hate. It's very accurate. That's the only like niche that this weapon has to fill, but I hate that a gun has to fire. I know that it empties the magazine slower. But still, I don't like decreased rate of fire guns with a less magazine. That's like it's not even rewarding for the slow rate of fire. Like compared to all the other repulsors, this one's definitely the worst. Like, seriously, fuck that variant. Same with the Parabellum. Worst RW1, I was going to choose the Radiance, since that one decreases the long range damage to be a 4-shot kill instead of 3, but you're never really going to be that far away anyway. And it does have faster sprint out and a target enhancer, but I don't really care about that. But what I do care about is the fact that this RW1 Spitfire, it does have more 70 damage range, which it doesn't matter because that's a 2-shot kill and you want all 1-shot kills with this pistol. 98 damage is 1 shot with the, batting multipliers, but it does have a faster sprint out time as well, which you probably won't notice, and all it gets is 20% more idle sway. Now, RW1 rail driver, yes, it does have more sway, but that one makes up for it with awesome amounts of damage, whereas this one you're just stuck with load more sway with like no real benefits. So yeah. Now the worst S12 variant, I do not have it. But, oh shit, worst S12 I do not have, but I'm going with the, I was gonna go with the Varmint. Yes, it does, because it does have one less pellet, but it does have more range, so that kind of makes up for it, right? Gallant looks bad, but actually it has +2 reserve mag, which actually helps the S12 since you burn through magazines fast. I was going to choose this one since it has a suppressor and hurts the range. And it does have -1 damage, this one, but it has a nice fire rate increase. I'm going with the S12N, which the enlisted variant I don't have, because the S12N, it does fire faster, but it has less range, and that's it. It's not really good, in my opinion, to have that. So you don't want less range on shotgun, so the S12N is the worst variant. Now the worst single SAC-3 variant, yes, boys and girls, it's indeed the Pain and Suffering. The Blood and Glory is also just as bad, since it has more recoil on top of the high rate of fire and a faster run speed, which nobody will notice, and 20% wider hipfire spread on a weapon that's all hipfire dependent. But I'm going with the Pain and Suffering because it's 4 shots at close range, normal, but then 6 shots at medium range, which you're actually gonna get to, and 7 shots at long range. Oh my god, this is gonna make it a real pea shooter. And it has less recoil, which it feels nice. Trust me, the 30% less recoil feels nice, but it also has -1 range to make it worse, making you get to the 7-shot kill range faster. So the Pain and Suffering is the worst akimbo SAC-3. I think even this is the decreased damage range. Yeah, see? Look at that. Oh my god. The worst single SAC-3 is definitely the Solitary. I was going to go with the Loner, but the Loner copies the Devourer, whereas the Solitary copies the Plunderer. So the Solitary is the worst single SAC-3 for the reasons I've stated for the Plunderer. Just more recoil. It has 20% more recoil for faster ADS, which, yes, you can't put a quick draw on it, so it's better than the MP11 Plunderer. But yeah, so you can't put a quick draw, so that's nice. That has faster aim and sights. But you also can't put a foregrip on this to correct the recoil. So Solitary still the worst. The Loner does fire slower, but it does have nice range. So yeah. Now the worst SN6 variant, yes, I'm definitely going for the SN6K. You get a faster rate of fire, which is very nice, because any rate of fire increase is nice, especially on the SN6. Definitely increases the time to kill, but up close, okay? Up close in its 4-shot range. And it does have a free foregrip, which is nice to control the, the recoil due to the high rate of fire, so that's cool. But you get -2 in damage. Are you serious? -2 damage on an SN6? That's quite weak. The SN6 is kind of a weak submachine gun because its medium range is so small. It's only 3 meters from 15 to 18, and that's the 6-shot kill range. And because the SN6 has low recoil and it has a foregrip, you want to go for more long-range shots. But it's like 4, 6, and 7 shots to kill, and I'm shooting at its 7-shot kill range. Oh my lord! It's really, it's a pea shooter. It gets lots of hit markers. The cycle is better because it has the same rate of fire increase, but it's not 6 shots to kill at medium range. But it still is bad since the medium range is so small that you're going to get to the long range faster. Worst Sten variant, just like I said for the MP40, is the Sten Commando. This one actually shoots way slower. It shoots, actually, I think the same speed as MP40. I'm not really sure, but more recoil, which the Sten's recoil is kind of frustrating, I guess. It has slower fire rate, which this is basically, the Sten is basically, the base Sten shoots at the same speed. Sorry guys, as I was saying, the base Sten shoots at the same speed as the -2 fire rate of the MP11 Devourer. Like I said, it has more 5-shot kill range and more reserve ammo, both nice, but it doesn't make up for like having more recoil and fire rate. And even though the slow rate of fire does help the recoil a little bit, the 10% more recoil is still there and lower rate of fire. So same as the MP40, because all the Stens copy the MP40s for some strange reason. And yeah, so the Sten Commando, just like the MP40 Parabellum, was the worst. That's the worst. Now, I love the STG44, and all variants are kind of good. And the STG's medium range 33 is so far away to the point where where the weapon's iron sights and initial recoil are never going to be that far enough away. But it does have -1 damage, making it 6 shots to kill long range. And all you get for that is a 10% tighter hipfire spread, which is not really worth it. And because the Iron Claw / the Royalty is better because it also has 10% tighter hipfire spread, but another bonus on top of that, which is a faster ADS time, which is good for assault rifles, and it does have less range. Yes, I know, but if the range decrease is deceptive on that weapon and not as bad as you think. This one, you just get tighter hipfire and no real benefit. I mean, which isn't a real benefit, and you get a 6 shit shot to kill at long range, so not good. Now the Vampire and Relic are obviously great because they both fire faster. And the worst SVO variant, I'm gonna go with the Professional Fury because all you get is a slower rate of fire, which is not a very spam heavy sniper to begin with, just to let you guys know. But the Eagle Eye at least has a nice niche to fill because it shoots faster. And the Battle Worn and Return to Sender have less idle sway and faster sprint out time, making those great snipers. But obviously this one's gonna be the worst because all it has is decreased fire rate for mobile, faster run speed, not really good. So yeah. Oh yeah, I was for the Pytaek, I was gonna choose the Savia as the worst because it has more recoil for tighter hipfire and ACOG, which nobody wants, but nah. So yeah. Where was I? So yeah, that's the worst SVO. Worst Tac-19. Now this is gonna surprise you. I was gonna go with the Bang Stick, guys, because it has fucking -2 range, which we never want, and wider hipfire as well. But the Bang Stick at least has a nice niche to fill because it does fire slower, despite it not being very noticeable. It does fire faster. So the Bang Stick I'm gonna consider to be the second worst. Actually, the third worst because the Runner is just as bad because it's an enlisted variant that I don't have. The Haymaker is the fourth worst because the Runner just has less pellets for a faster run speed. But for the worst of the worst, I'm going with the Jab because it still has less range, all for faster move speed and faster sprint out time. But so it still has less range, but the thing that makes this one more frustrating is that it has 4 rounds in the magazine, which is very frustrating because you get hit markers with the Tac-19, you want to follow up with a second shot, and having 4 rounds in the magazine. Now, even though it doesn't seem like the biggest of a deal since it's pump action at 89 RPM, you're firing very slow, so you can reload anytime you need to. But trust me, on a gun with shotgun with only 4 rounds in the magazine, it's gonna be very frustrating. On top of already having less range, it's like it doesn't even have damage increase like the uppercut to make it worthwhile. So yeah, the Jab, which is the marksman variant for 300 kills, is the worst Tac-19 variant. Now finally, we're at the last weapon. I go in ABC order, guys, by the way, for the weapons. The worst XMG variant, I was going to go with the Death and Taxes because it does have -2 on range, which that just decreases the 4-shot kill range. The 5-shot, the medium range and long range are the same. But I'm going with the Smoke and Mirrors because it has a pretty harsh penalty, and one of the bonuses of this weapon don't matter at all. So let's see. 1, 2, okay, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why? 6 shots to kill even at medium range, whereas let me show you guys with the bread and butter. So it has -1 damage. Alright, let me back up a little bit actually. See, it's still 5 shots to kill at long range, whereas the Smoke and Mirrors, it's a 4-shot at close range, that's good, but it's 6 shots at medium and long range. So the medium and long range damages are both 17, making them 6 shots to kill. Incredibly high for an LMG. It does have a faster rate of fire, which is the only good thing about this variant, but pretty much all the other variants have a faster rate of fire, so that's not really too significant. And the only thing you get... Okay, it seems like I'm killing them faster because that's because I'm like shooting them in the head. Yeah, no, that's 6-shot kill range. But the thing about this, it says it has +1 range. Look at how many shots it took to kill. Even firing both of them at the same time, it still takes a long time to kill. So the -1 range doesn't matter because it increases the medium range damage 17, which first of all we don't want that increase because it's a decreased damage, and second of all it's the same as the long range, which doesn't matter at all because the long range is still the same as the medium range, so -2 damage on this. Yeah, definitely going to be the worst variant. And that's all for this video, guys. Make sure to like the video and don't dislike it, whoever the fuck did it last time. And yeah, so the variants that I showed you guys, never ever use them. If you want to know the best variants, watch the other video that I put out where I explain the best variants of each gun and why. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and bye-bye.